Without any further ado, let's welcome our speaker, Rajapandian, who will walk us through coding real world assets through NFTs. He is a passionate techie at heart and currently working for Bank of America in open source blockchain and emerging technological areas. He got introduced to blockchain as a part of innovation drive with his earlier organization Banca Sella in 2018, and from then on he has experimented with major blockchain platforms in the market, specifically R3 Corda, Hyperledger Fabric and Ethereum. He writes articles on microservices and blockchain as a way of sharing his knowledge with the community, which helped him to receive the LIFT scholarship from Linux Foundation in 2020. Feel free to ask your questions in the Q&A box. We will answer these at the end of the session. Over to you, Rajapandian.
Thank you, Hema. Yeah. Let me share my screen now.
Sure.
Okay. Hope my screen is visible to everyone, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Welcome, everyone. So welcome to the final session on the beginner series on the blockchain from WWCB, the Women Who Code Blockchain community. So it's always fascinating to be a part of community and share knowledge. And as part of this series, this final series will be on coding real world assets through NFTs from myself, Rajapandian. So I work as a software engineer for Bank of America, and I've been exploring the blockchain space for over 3 to 4 years now on various blockchain platforms, as mentioned by Hema. And right now I'm currently focused on the Ethereum blockchain and exploring NFTs as well. So this session, as you know, NFTs has been the buzzword in the market for quite some time, where major players have come into this market space and they have started creating NFTs. So this session will be focusing on what is NFTs, the W's of NFTs, which is what is an NFT, why do we speak about NFTs, and what makes them so special. And the next thing is the deeper philosophical understanding. So NFTs are special, but what is the philosophical background that makes them so special that people believe and spend a lot of money on them? And finally, we'll be also looking at some of the use cases around NFTs. So the approach that we would be following is we'll get the fundamentals of what tokens are. Tokens are of different types, and we'll be looking at what are the different kinds of tokens and what purpose do they serve to us. And we'll also explore the concept, the philosophy behind an NFT. So what makes an NFT unique in the market? And then we'll also be looking at how to code and mint an NFT. So with one of the industry best practices, I'll be showing you how to use the industry best practices to code and mint an NFT and view it on the marketplace. So this is not going to be a financial advice, but we'll be looking at how you can, now you have an asset with you, an image or an art or a piece of music with you, how you can mint it being an owner of the art and sell it on the marketplace. What are the different options that are available to you to mint them and sell it on a marketplace? It is not only that you'll be selling it on the marketplace, whereas you'll also have opportunities like if you have if you are working on the Web3 domain, like you'll be able to build a marketplace around it using the Web3 technologies and the HTML, JavaScript technologies. And also you can build your own marketplace around it. So we'll be looking at one of them. So now the fundamental aspect of what a token is in the blockchain space. A token is basically nothing but a digital asset on the blockchain. So you would have heard about the different cryptocurrencies that are present in the market right now, the Bitcoin, Ethereum. All of these are tokens that are available where you would be able to trade around them. So these, most of the time, we speak about Bitcoin and Ethereum. Bitcoin is basically a payments token where you would be able to transfer the token between one or two among yourself. Whereas Ethereum has a bit more option, like it is a programmable blockchain where you can write smart contracts around it, but yet it is still at the core level, you will be building a token around it. There is a tokenomics around it. And a token usually represents something that is custom created by a user, meaning Bitcoin is not is a custom created asset where the value of the token is set by the market or the users who are trading it around it. So it does not have any intrinsic value on its own, like an art, but it is a custom created asset which the value is set by the people who trade around it. Basically, the nature of a token has three attributes. One is the purpose, the attribute, and the behavior. Purpose is nothing but what you can do with the token. Attributes are nothing but what kind of special features or the attributes that surround or what it holds. And a behavior is nothing but what you can do with the token, what the token can do for you, like a payments token or an NFT has specific features, like you have smart NFTs. So what is the behavior that the token can offer? So these three features make a token. So the purpose of the token is nothing but, in the case of Bitcoin, it represents a fixed value, or you can also term them as stable currencies. It can also represent voting rights in certain cases, or in the case of NFTs, it will represent an ownership. The attribute of the token, it could be anything ranging from name, value, or in the case of an NFT, it will represent an owner, a creator. In the case of digital currencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum, it will represent supply. And in the case of non-fungible tokens, which now we use for security tokens, it will represent an identity, or it can also point to something else. Like in the case of an NFT, we can point to the owners or the address of the owners who own the token at a specific point in time. So these are attributes that will be set around the token. So you can refer the token or pinpoint a token to an owner or features around it. Then the behavior of a token. The behavior of a token really means around in the blockchain world because it defines the fungibility of a token. For example, these are some of the behaviors like mintable. Are you able to increase the supply of a token after it has been created? Is it transferable? So in the case of Bitcoin and Ethereum, these are tokens that are around payments, and it will enable you to trade around them or transfer the value of the tokens around people. If it is burnable is nothing but if you can take out a portion or the complete supply of a token away from the market. And is it possible? Are you able to pause the transaction or pause the transfers that can happen between the tokens? Then in the case of fungible tokens, you have an option to merge or divide the tokens. For example, in the case of fiat currencies that are represented as stable coins, you will be able to merge those currencies and divide those currencies. And in the case of NFTs, you have an option to combine NFTs and create a unique token out of it. So these are some of the behaviors that represent a token. So as already said, fungibility is nothing but it depends upon the value and the token's use. So based on the value of a token and the token's use, you can define a token into two types. Those are fungible and non-fungible tokens. So what basically is fungibility? Fungible tokens are nothing but you will be able to merge or divide the tokens in it. So for example, when you take fiat currencies, you have a dollar, like you have a dollar with you, you have $2 with you. When you'll be able to merge and divide it. For example, you'll be able to combine the two and make it as $2. So in this case, the identity of the token is not lost and the value is also not changed. But there is a partial loss of information where two tokens are now merged into one and it can be represented as $2 or $5. So in this case, the exchange of identical type in the sense the token should be of the same type. In this case, I'm representing it as fungible tokens like BUSDs or USDT or fiat currencies, where there is zero probability of loss. When you exchange the tokens with a similar token, you have basically no loss. But in the case of non-fungible tokens, there is no loss of information because every token is unique. The identity is also not changed. The value is also not fungible because you won't be able to exchange one NFT. For example, if you consider an art, for example, the Mona Lisa, you will not be able to exchange it for another duplicate because the value of it is not going to be fungible and you will not be able to exchange it. So in this case, the exchange of identical type results in zero or greater probability of loss, which means when I have the original Mona Lisa painting with me and you have a fake, the exchange of it, it's not going to be of same value and either of the one is going to face a loss or a profit. Okay, so that is the difference between a fungible and a non-fungible token. Fungibility is always contextual, meaning when you have a dollar and a euro in hand, when you exchange them, the value of the dollar in exchange for a euro is not going to be the same. So fungibility is always contextual and it depends upon the type of the token that is being exchanged. Either you exchange a dollar for a dollar or an equal amount of a euro with a dollar. So it is always contextual. So the provenance or a history of an art. So it depends upon four aspects, basically. So earlier in the marketplace, when you look at an art, you have a physical art. And
Rajapandian,
yes,
hi. So actually, can you be somewhat paced down a little bit?
sure, yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, okay. The provenance or a history of an art is nothing but, say, in the earlier days, when you have an art with you, there is a physical object that represents the art, and we have a creator who has made the art, and there is a community that backs it. Say, for example, if the Mona Lisa, you have the physical object, the creator who created it, and the community who has support for the creator and the story around it that makes the art so special. In the case of blockchain, we don't have the physical object with us, but we have the representation of the creator, the community, and the story. So why is blockchain special for an NFT? Blockchain offers a lot of features, and one thing is the interoperability, meaning you will be able to trade around the blockchain in a different blockchain platforms that are available. Say, for example, you will be able to trade around the platform in the Ethereum blockchain or the Polygon network or the Binance. So you'll be able to trade your asset in the various marketplaces. It is immutable, meaning the ownership of a token, for example, an NFT, is saved in the blockchain and the ownership is tracked as well. Liquidity is the sense you will be able to set the total number of assets that can be created. For example, when you are an author or a creator, you will be able to define the total number of tokens that can be minted in the marketplace. So you can define saying I'll be able to mint only a total of 10 arts of my token in the marketplace, and not more than 10 will be available in the whole world. And programmable. There are smart NFTs currently available in the marketplace where the attributes make them so special that the NFTs can react to certain events in the external and internal events. So ownership is defined by immutability and interoperability. Immutable is nothing but when you are the owner of an art, the ownership is served in the blockchain so that the data is immutable. And also interoperability, meaning if you are the owner of an asset, you will be able to trade around in different marketplaces where you have value around it. There are different types of NFTs in the marketplace, such as collectibles, art, music and media, gaming, real world assets, virtual worlds, and domain names. All these have certain value in the marketplaces, and you will be able to represent these assets as NFTs, and you will be able to trade around them. So right now, we have examples around collectibles, art, music, and media, and gaming is becoming one of the best marketplaces right now. And there are use cases around digital assets and financial products as well, where you will be able to create an NFT out of these products and trade around them. So when we speak about NFT, there are two standards that are available, that are predominantly available in the market. Those are the ERC 721 and the ERC 1155. So these are the two standards that are available in the Ethereum platform, where you will be able to code and create NFTs around it. So the ERC 721 is the most widely adopted protocol. It is purely non-fungible, meaning you will be able to mint a single NFT at any point of time using the ERC 721 protocol. Whereas using the ERC 1155, you will be able to mint both fungible and non-fungible tokens. What makes ERC 1155 special is that you will be able to create or mint batch NFTs in a single transaction. So that makes them like you can spend only a lesser gas fees when you mint these NFTs, and it is mostly optimized for gas, the Ethereum gas as well. So today, what we will be doing is we'll be creating an ERC 721 token, and the architecture that we will be following is I'm going to take a use case of an asset. I have an image, and I'll be uploading it to the IPFS. IPFS is nothing but the interplanetary file system, which is a decentralized storage mechanism. So what we'll be doing is, being the author or the owner of the art, I'll be uploading my image to a decentralized storage. I'll be creating a metadata out of it. And then I'll be writing a smart contract that will read the metadata from the IPFS storage and then mint a token out of it. So I'll be using the ERC721 protocol to mint the token and display it on the marketplace. So for now, for the purposes of this demo, what I'll be doing is like, I'll be taking the use case of an art. So for example, I have the Super Mario image, which is unique and in the marketplace. And being the author, I'll be uploading the image to the IPFS. I'll be creating a JSON file, which is a metadata representation of the Super Mario image. I'll be defining the attributes of the Super Mario image that I hold. Then I'll be writing the smart contracts that will read the token URI from the IPFS and mint it to the blockchain. We'll be able to view it on the OpenSea, the testnet, the OpenSea testnet. So for the purposes of this demo, we'll be using the OpenSea. But if you are a web developer, you will be able to create a marketplace. You'll be able to develop a marketplace and view the NFTs on your own marketplace as well. So I'll switch to the demo now. So this demo will be about now, like I'll be showing you step by step on how to create a project, how to create a smart contract and all this stuff. We'll be using some of the best practices available in the market right now, like using the hard hat, using the Open Zeppelin smart contracts and all those stuff, and how to mint an NFT. So I'm using the Visual Studio Code editor. You can also use Remix Online IDE, but I prefer Visual Studio Code because it offers the code insights and all those things. So I'm going to create a new project now. I'll name it as NFT. So this, I've just created a folder now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to initiate this project as an NPM project. I'm going to accept all the defaults. So right now I have the project created. The next thing that we do is we'll install Hardhat as a dependency. Hardhat is nothing but an Ethereum development environment, which will help you, to write code, test your code and deploy your code in a much faster pace rather than you going and defining all those steps. Okay, so this is like an IDE. So it will replicate an IDE for you. So I'm going to install the Hardhat. So this will take a couple of minutes. So the Hardhat installs all the dependencies for you to build and deploy your code. Rather than you having your own environment to create stuff, it will already create an environment for you. So you can run and test your stuff. You can run test cases around it. Today, we are not going to write any test cases, but we will be writing the smart contracts and deploy the code on a marketplace. So I have my Hardhat installed now. I'm going to now initiate this project as a Hardhat project. So you give the command as, so the command is npx. I have already installed Hardhat. So I'm going to say Hardhat. So basically when you type npx Hardhat, it will ask you for certain details. So I'm going to go ahead and create a sample project and I accept all the defaults. So it will install all the dependencies that are needed. For example, you have the EtherS. These are some of the dependencies that are needed to write the test cases, to communicate with the Web3 protocols, to communicate with the front end and all those. So right now we are not going to use any of these. We are just using Hardhat to help us build and deploy this smart contract on the marketplace. So this installs a set of dependencies for you to make your work easier for the build and deploy phase. So while this goes on, you'll be able to see here that there are a couple of folders created. One is a contract folder with the default a sample contract file. You have the scripts that will help you deploy. This is one of the samples that are provided by Hardhat. You also have the test folder that will help you write unit tests around your smart contract, and also the Hardhat config file. So this will help you to define to which network you want to deploy your smart contract to. So by default, you will be deploying to the Ethereum network, but in today's session, we'll be using the Polygon testnet to deploy the smart contract and see. Why we prefer Polygon is that the Polygon offers a lesser gas fees when compared to Ethereum, and it is a layer 2 protocol around Ethereum. So we'll be using Polygon. So the Hardhat installation is done. We'll delete these smart contracts because we are not going to use them. The samples. While this gets deleted, I'm going to rename this scripts folder, the file with deploy.js. Okay. So in the meanwhile, in the presentation, I told you that there are two different kinds of NFT standards that are available. One is the ERC 721 and the ERC 1155. So the ERC 721 standard is based on the Ethereum improvement proposal, which is EIP 721. So this proposal defines what this smart contract, how this smart contract should behave. So we have the ERC interface, which defines the protocol standards. We like any NFT that is based on this ERC 721 must adhere to this protocol standard, which says it should have the event of transfer, approval for all, and the methods that are defined here, the balance of and owner of. So if you are writing your own implementation of ERC 721, you should adhere to this interface so that your NFT, when minted, will be able to, like, it will be tradable on all the available platforms. So when you adhere to this standard, you will be able to deploy your code or mint your NFT in various other platforms that look up to this interface, the EIP protocol, and see if your contract is adhering to these standards. So either like we'll be able to write our own smart contract from this ERC 721 interface, or we have the Openc contracts, which are audited smart contracts that are provided by the community. So what you can do is like you can use the Openc contracts. These people, like, they have audited the code, and this community has implemented all the security measures and implemented this ERC 721 protocol already. So instead of writing your own implementation around this EIP implementation, you can make use of this Openc's freely available smart contracts and implement your code. So what I'll be doing is, we can use this example here. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to create a new smart contract called supermario.sol. I'm going to paste it. So instead of, we'll just rename it. So you have an error saying that these imports are not available. We'll install those dependencies as well. So we have an npm dependency of at Openc smart contracts that is provided by this community as well. So you can install this dependency so that these contracts, the implementation of ERC 721 is already available to you. So right now, I have the implementation or the Openc contracts imported. So if you see here, we have the dependency from Openc, the token, ERC 721, extensions, and the ERC 721 URI storage. Now the next thing that we do is refresh it so that the contract is updated. And now I have the contract with me, and now I have to upload. So the first task is to upload the asset that I hold. So I'm going to use an offline decentralized, an online decentralized storage called Pinata. You could also use IPFS. Pinata is also a recognized IPFS storage platform where you can upload your asset and then use it to mint your NFTs. So in this case, I have the Mario image already saved in my desktop. I can treat it as my NFT. So I'm going to upload that file. I'm going to select the file or the image that is available. I have the Mario image here. So if I'm the author who created this image, I'm going to upload it to IPFS storage, which is a decentralized storage. Just accept the default name and upload it. Okay, the file has been uploaded successfully. And by the time it gets uploaded, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this Nft Json to this folder. So this Nft metadata describes what my image is. So I have given a description of Mario, the description, the image. So this image is nothing but the storage, the IPFS storage location. So what I do is I go to Pinata and see what my location is. I have the CID. Okay, this is the unique ID of this image, and I'm going to copy the CID and replace it in my IPFS location. And I have various attributes defined here. So the strength of the Mario, what is the speed at which it can run, what is the trait, the jump trait that it can do. So these are some of the attributes that I say, which makes this NFT unique, which makes this asset unique. So I'm going, after this is replaced, I'm going to upload this JSON as well to Pinata. So I have the image and also the metadata uploaded to the IPFS storage, which is Pinata. Now I can go ahead and write my code to mint this NFT. So to mint this NFT, all I need to do is I'm going to create a deploy script. So this NFT contract, you're having a function call. Instead of award, I'm going to say mint. We are going to mint an NFT right now. I'm not going to give the address of the player now. I'm just going to pass the token URI. Okay, so I'm going to rename these aspects. I'm going to give a name. So this ERC721, I'm going to refer to as Super Mario. As part of the constructor, what I'll also do is I'll pass a name as well. So during deployment, I'll be able to I'm passing a name, and also I'm setting the symbol of it. I can refer to this name during the deployment phase instead of defining it in my contract. Right. And then I'm using the OpenZeppelin's counter to increment. So instead of you making the counter increment each and for every mint, I'm going to use the OpenZeppelin's contract, the counters contract, the library to increment the counter. I'm going to say who mints the token. Instead of the address, I'm going to pass the sender, like whoever deploys or mints this token, that will be the owner of this NFT. So this is all you need to do. The next thing that we do is go to the deploy script. And instead of the greeter, what we'll be doing is like we'll be referring to the Super Mario. So I'm going to just rename it. So the get contract factory, what it will do is like it will read the contract and it will create an object out of it. and this will be an instance of the deployed contract. So I'm going to say await for the deployment to happen. And during deployment, we'll have to pass the Super Mario's name and symbol. So in this case, I'll say Super Mario and also the symbol. I'll say SPR. Right. So I'm going to deploy the smart contract now. I'm going to print the address, and once the contract is deployed, we'll then mint it. I'm going to write a new function which says Super Mario dot mint and the IPFS location. So in this case, we can take the IPFS location from the JSON file. We already have it. So this is the IPFS location of the image. But when you deploy it, you'll have to provide the IPFS location of the JSON file, which is the metadata. So I'm going to say when you mint it, I'm going to read the JSON file. I'm going to copy the CID and I'm going to paste it here. Okay. So now what we are doing is we are reading the Super Mario contract from the SOL, the Solidity contract file. We are deploying it by passing a name and a symbol for the asset, for the NFT. And then once it is deployed, I'm printing the address of the NFT and we are minting it. So let's also console a log that says if the NFT mint is successful or not. So the next thing that we have to do is, I said we are not going to deploy our contract to the Ethereum network. Rather, we are going to deploy it to the Polygon network. So in order to do that, we'll have to make a change to the hard hat config. So you'll have to add a new networks attribute, which says where this contract must be deployed. So I'm going to mention it as the Mumbai network. The Polygon network is deployed. The Polygon testnet is available in the Mumbai network. So I'm going to say define the URL and also the accounts that will be used to deploy this smart contract, that is the NFT. So instead of giving the URL directly, I'm going to put them in an environment file and also the account. So these are the two values that are needed to deploy your NFTs. So we'll be able to get these files out. So I'm going to show you how to create an account. So instead of having a test account or a local Ganesh running, what you can do is you can have your Ethereum account created from the vanity. So you have vanity.eth, which will help you to create your accounts on the fly. So I'm going to generate an account here. So this will give me the address and also the private key. So I'm going to take this private key here. So this is the account that is created for me. And I'm going to create an env file, .env file. So rather than defining your private keys in the deployment script, what you can do is you can put them in your configuration files, which will not be visible after your deployment or in your GitHub repo. So you can ignore them during your deployment or your commit phase. So I'm going to define these two attributes. The two attributes are the Mumbai RPC and the private key. So I'll go here. RPC and the private key. I'm going to save the private key here. And for the Mumbai network, you can take it from the Polygon documentation. So if you see here, we have the Mumbai network details here. So Mumbai testnet. I'm going to share you all these details in a document as well. So if you look from the Polygon documentation, you have the RPC details of where the testnet is available. So I'm going to copy this data and I'm going to replace it in the Mumbai RPC. Okay, so these are the two details that are needed. Now, when you deploy your script, that is one other thing that is needed, which is in the configuration file, they have mentioned that you'll be reading it from the process.env. And there should be a mechanism to read as well. So we have a dependency to do it. We will require a dependency or npm dependency called .n, and we'll be reading the config. There is a function that reads this config. So we'll install that dependency as well. So now our smart contract is almost done. So we have a smart contract, the Super Mario contract that implements the ERC721 storage. We are also using the counters from the OpenZeppelin library. The ERC721 is also available from the OpenZeppelin's audited code, where we'll be passing a name of our NFT and also a symbol. And that name will be used to, the name and symbol will be used to mint an NFT. So what NFT we are minting is provided during the deploy phase, where we are saying that I have my NFT metadata available in a decentralized storage like IPFS or Pinata. So as an owner or an author, what I can do is I can upload my asset to the Pinata decentralized storage. You can save it in your own account, which is not visible to others, and you can only mint them. So as part of ERC721, we'll be able to mint a single asset at a time. But in the same case, if you are using the ERC1155, you'll be able to mint multiple assets. Say, for example, if I plan to mint, say, a 10 Super Mario assets, I'll be able to do that in the ERC1155 protocol. Whereas ERC721 allows me to mint only single asset. So I also print the log after the asset is minted successfully. So now what we'll do is, like, since everything is ready, let's try to deploy this contract and see if this contract is deployed to the Polygon testnet. So I say npm hard hat run run. I'm referring to the scripts folder and the deploy script, and I'm referring to the network which is configured in the hard hat config file. So here I've given it as the Mumbai network. I'm specifying the network to which I should deploy this smart contract. So I'm going to right now deploy it. Okay, this is an array of accounts. Sorry. It's an array of accounts, so I'll have to give it as an array. So the compilation is successfully completed, and we expect the smart contract also to be deployed to the testnet. Okay, so it says insufficient funds because I've just created this account with this address, and to deploy this contract, I must have a limited supply of Matic available. So how you can do that is, I'm going to copy this address, and I'm going to the faucet. Faucet is nothing but which will help you to the faucet will provide you some meager amount of Matic or Ethereum tokens. So I'm going to use the Polygon faucet, and I'm going to submit it. So they are going to send me one Matic now. Okay. So A9. Okay. So how I can verify this is I can open my MetaMask. I'm going to connect to the Polygon testnet Mumbai. So once you have your MetaMask installed, if you are unable to see this Polygon testnet Mumbai in your networks list, what you can do is you can go to chain list and you can search for Polygon. So you'll be able to see the Mumbai testnet. You can say connect to the wallet, which will give you a pop-up on your MetaMask. I'm going to log in. So I have multiple networks configured and Polygon testnet is one of them. So I have multiple networks configured here. So I'm going to connect to the Polygon testnet. So if you don't see the network listed here, you can add it to MetaMask from chainlist.org. So I'll be providing you a document on whatever demo that I've shown you now. So you can just click add to MetaMask and the Polygon Mumbai network will be added. So I'm going to copy my net address here from Vanity ETH. I'm going to copy this private key. The address ends with EA9 and we expect some Matic to be available that is sent by the faucet. So I'm going to configure this. I'm going to import this newly created account, the private key. I'm going to paste the private key here. So there is 0.5 Matic that is available to me now. So this account ends with EA9. If you see here, this EA9 has been imported to my MetaMask. And now since this has 0.5 Matic available, I have the funds to deploy this, the smart contract and also to mint it. So right now, the minting should be successful. We'll give it a couple of minutes. Okay, the Super Mario is deployed to an address. Okay, so it is giving me the address and also the NFT is minted successfully. So how do I verify if this contract is minted? We have the Polygon Explorer, the Polygon scan. Okay, so this is the Polygon Explorer. Like you have the Ethereum Explorer. I'm going to look for the Polygon testnet because we are not deployed to the mainnet. We are deploying to the Mumbai testnet. I'm going to check this address to see if the contract is really deployed, the NFT. So if you see here, there is a contract created and there is an NFT minted. So this is the address to which the contract is deployed. And you see here that there is a contract creation for the Super Mario and also mint method, which has created an NFT. So we have passed in a name for an NFT and also the symbol. So the Super Mario is the name of the NFT and the symbol is SPRM. So we are able to see this. So now, how do I view this on a marketplace? So if you are a web developer, you will be able to create your own marketplace, code your own marketplace using any of the web technologies available. And you can connect it to the Polygon network or the Ethereum network using the Web3 protocols. But now we have certain marketplaces that are readily available for us. One is like the Rarible network and also the OpenSea. So if I'll have to show you one of the marketplaces, OpenSea is one of the marketplaces where if you are an author or a creator, you can mint one of your NFTs like in a similar way, and you can view it on the marketplace. So OpenSea is one of the widely known platforms to trade your NFTs and to make a sell or make a buy. So I'm going to now check if my NFT is listed in this marketplace, like if I'm able to trade around it. So I'm going to connect to my wallet. Instead of connecting to the earlier account, I'm going to switch it to the newly created account. The account number is EA9, ends with EA9, and I'm connected to EA9. So now if I go and view my collections, you'll be able to see that the NFT that I have minted on the Polygon testnet is now available in the testnet, in the OpenSea testnet as part of this address. So this wallet is now connected to this address, and this address has this NFT that is minted. So this is a Super Mario that is minted a while ago on the Polygon testnet, and I'm able to see the details. Okay, so by default, when you mint it, it will be minted from a null address, which is a zero address, to the owner who created it. For example, if we use our account to deploy or mint the NFT, it will be by default minted to your address. So that is why it's showing you. And the traits are nothing but OpenSea has a specific standard to display the traits. So in our case, if I look at the JSON file, so we have described the name, a short description, the image. So this image attribute, when it displays the image on the OpenSea marketplace, it will look for this attribute in the metadata, and it will pick the image from the IPFS storage, which is the Pinata. Okay, and we have the Mario name that is taken from this metadata as well, and also a short description. So this is specific to marketplaces. This is specific to actually the metadata that I've created is specific to OpenSea. So if you are a web developer, you can have your own metadata attributes, and you can read it from those attributes as well from the JSON file. So in my case, I've given certain attributes that makes this NFT special, and you can see them using the intelligence, jump, speed, and strength. So these are some of the attributes, dummy attributes that I've created. So these are values that will be taken from this metadata. So this is how you will be able to mint your NFTs and display it on a marketplace like OpenSea, right? So what I have shown you now is an NFT that is minted using the ERC721 protocol, the AP standard. Okay. You also have the ERC1155 standard, where you will be able to create both fungible and non-fungible tokens, and also create batch transfers like batch minting. You will be able to mint 10 to 15 or a collection of NFTs in a single deployment. So this is how you code real world assets. So in today, like I've shown you how to mint an image. So in a similar way, if you have an art like a collectible or a music or an audio file, you will be able to upload it to any of the IPFS storages, create a metadata out of it, and then mint them using the protocols that we discussed today. Right? So any queries? I'll be also providing you a detailed documentation on how we did this demo, like a complete step-by-step material on how to do this and how to deploy and how to view it on the marketplace. That will be available in our Slack channel soon. So any queries so far?
So yes, we have some questions. I can read it out.
Yes.
I believe Anushka is asking. I believe that blockchain hasn't taken off much because there are not many mobile D app. How can we build mobile D apps?
It depends upon it. So we have React and React Native app platforms available. See, you can connect. There is a Web3 library that is available, which will help you to connect your mobile applications or web applications to the smart contracts. Okay. So when you want to create your D apps, you can prefer either Dart or whatever platform that you like, and use the Web3 or Ether.js or even Java as well. So there are libraries that are available as for Web3 connectivity to the smart contracts, and you will be able to create apps out of it, D apps or web applications out of it.
Okay. Next question is, are you using blockchain in the Bank of America?
I can't give out that information, but all the banks are exploring the blockchain platforms. Yes.
Okay. If there is a piece of data on the blockchain which can be exchanged between parties, such as supply chain related info, invoice info, and can it be called as fungible?
No, I can't give a definite answer now, because it depends upon the asset that you're talking about. So fungibility is always described based on the value and its use. So how you define it depends. there are certain cases like where even an NFT can be merged and combined to create a unique NFT. Okay, so it depends upon your use case. You'll have to analyze your asset and see where it fits in, and if the value or there is no loss of data when you merge or divide your tokens, then it can be called as non-fungible. Else, you can term it as fungible.
Okay. Next question is, will there be a physical good counterpart for every NFT? If one were to draw from your painting example.
NFTs are, why we have NFTs is that on the blockchain specifically. So blockchain is the best suit for an NFT. So in this case, why we say NFT is so special for digital assets is that you will be able to track your ownership. So for example, if I ever mint an NFT, if I'm the real owner of an asset that you're talking about, for example, if a painting, I am the only person who is going to upload this image. Anyone can be the can make a copy of this Mario image. But if I am the real owner, there should be a community that speaks about it, and there should be a story. Okay, so if the owner or the author of the digital art is well known in the community, then you'll be able to track. If I say I minted an NFT, I'm going to see my name here. It's going, during the first mint, it's going to say null address, from a null address to, if I'm the author, it will be my name, Rajapandian. So if Bhavya is going to buy this digital asset on the OpenSea platform, I'm going to see another event which says from me to Bhavya. Okay, so when someone or you're going to showcase your collectibles among your friends or anyone else, you are very sure that you are able to display your ownership data. You're able to display your ownership tracking data from a platform like OpenSea and say you own the original asset. Okay, that is why we prefer NFTs that are deployed on the blockchains, and we say why blockchain is very much suitable for NFTs.
Okay. Next question from Ray. Is it possible to incorporate an ERC20 contract into an ERC721 contract?
Not into an ERC721, because ERC721 is a pure non-fungible standard. You will be able to incorporate ERC20 into an ERC1155 protocol. So that supports both fungible and non-fungible tokens.
Okay. What do you prefer, IPFS versus PermaWeb, and why?
Okay, so I'm not much familiar with PermaWeb, but I've been exploring IPFS storages for quite some time. I prefer IPFS because it splits up your file into multiple shards, and it will be able to, now similar to a blockchain node, it will be spread across multiple nodes as well. So you have much near no downtime as well. So IPFS storage, you can have you have a lot of flexibility on security and storage as well. So I prefer IPFS now. Maybe I'll explore PermaWeb as well.
Okay. Another question: what happens when two NFTs are created at the exact same time on the two different blockchain, pointing to the same pinned image on IPFS?
NFTs are basically, it traces back to the creator. Okay, so when you say you're going to mint an NFT on an Ethereum blockchain, Polygon network, and also the Binance Smart Chain, even though they point to the same IPFS image, they are, I would term them as they are traded or they are interoperable on multiple networks. So unless you're able to trace the ownership, when it says, this null address is minted from a null address to me on an Ethereum network only once, on a Binance network only once, and on a Polygon network only once, then this NFT is going to be still special. Okay, it is going to be still unique. It is immutable. Yeah.
Okay, I'm taking similar question from Divya. She has asked on the chat. We uploaded both the image and metadata files to IPFS. It looks like adding only the image location to our config file. How did our project and OpenSea read the metadata from IPFS?
Okay, so there are two things here. One is we have the image which has a different IPFS CID. Okay, if you see here, it ends with XX, and the JSON file, which is the metadata, ends with GEZ. Okay. So in our config file in the deployment script, what I've given is, we have given the location of the metadata file. Okay. This metadata is the file that will hold the image data. Just show you this one. So that, okay. IX. So this is the metadata JSON file. The metadata JSON file ends with GEZ and the image file ends with IXX. So the metadata will hold the image attribute that will point to the actual image on the IPFS. Whereas when we deployed using the deploy script, we are referring only to the metadata file directly and not the image. So when this is minted on the OpenSea platform or your custom NFT marketplace, we'll be able to see the ERC-721 protocol as seen from the smart contract, right? So let me show you the smart contract. It accepts a token URI. This is the token URI that we are passing it during the mint phase. Okay, so mint, and we are passing the metadata location. So with this location, OpenSea or any other marketplace will be able to go ahead and reach this metadata file, read all the attributes, and see that, okay, where is the location of this image? And it will pick up this image and display it on the marketplace. So for OpenSea, it is of this standard. But when you're creating your own marketplaces, you can have your own attributes defined.
Okay. Another question, do you have to use hard hat for NFCs?
No, I think it is NFT, but hard hat is only a development time environment. Okay, so if you are comfortable using Truffle, then you are good to go. Yeah, hard hat is a more advanced version now. Like it has recently come up with a lot of features for development of Solidity smart contracts. So that's why we have used it. If you are comfortable with Truffle, you can do that as well.
Okay. So after every deploy, you are calling mint function. Does it mean that you will create new NFT every time, or it is overriding the previous one?
No, every time an NFT is minted, it will create a unique ID. So every mint is a unique mint. So yes, in case of ERC-721, every mint is going to create a unique asset, unique NFT. But if you are using ERC-1155, you will be able to define the total number of mints that are needed. Say, for example, in one deploy script, I can define, say, mint me 1,000 Super Mario NFTs. It is going to create me 1,000 NFTs, 1,000 unique NFTs. So unique NFTs in the sense, every NFT will have a unique ID. So if you see the smart contract here, okay, so I'm for every NFT that is minted, along with the token URI, we are also using the counter function to increment the token ID and also passing it during the mint function. Okay, so every item will have a unique item ID.
Okay. Next question: can you delete uploaded file from Pinata? Will it break your NFT?
Yes, it will. Yeah. In case if I delete the NFT, I mean the asset metadata from the Pinata or any IPFS storage, then OpenSea is not going to, it will not be able to read this NFT data, from the metadata file. So that will be a problem. So if you are an author and if you are trading your NFTs on a marketplace, you should make sure that you are not deleting your metadata files and the actual images. Yes.
Okay. How much does it cost to deploy in main Polygon?
Right now, no, we have been using a testnet, so that is not going to impact you much. So there were 0.5 Matic available to me earlier, and right now, if you see, that is around 0.01, including the mint cost. So it is very less in a Polygon network, but you will be having a lot of fees on the Ethereum network. So you should make sure to which platform you're deploying to.
Okay. So can't we just upload a NFT and automatically everything is done in the backend?
I mean, upload an NFT in the sense, are you referring the image as an NFT? In the blockchain world, based on the two protocols that are available, an image is not considered an NFT unless it is minted. So you should have the actual asset, whatever asset it is. the image or a media file or whatever it is, accompanied with the metadata file. So only then you will be able to mint it. So it depends upon how you are handling it in the backend. So maybe we need clarity on this question as well.
Anushka, can you let us know if your question is answered, or you can write your question again. We are happy to answer. Next question is, okay, how can we get this tutorial?
Okay.
You can get this tutorial.
Detailed documentation will be available soon in our Slack channel.
Yeah. You can join our Slack channel also. We will be providing link how to join the Slack channel. In the events channel, you will get the recordings. Just like we uploaded a pic on our social media platforms. Okay, this was
this is a continuation. Okay.
Continuation.
So yes. So when you upload a pic on a social media platform, no, you are not having any ownership information tracked as part of the upload, right? So that will not be termed as an NFT. So for example, if you put an NFT of an image of Mario on a social media platform, people are not going to see who's the owner of that image. Now it could be the original or it could be the a copy of it. So that is not going to be tracked. Okay, but when you have your asset, when you are going to display to your friends that you hold this Mario image on an OpenSea or in your account in MetaMask, you can go to this platform and say, okay, you are purchased from home. Okay, so this tracking of ownership will tell you if you are owning the actual real image from an author or not. Okay, so there is a provision now in MetaMask as well where you will be able to view your NFTs. So it is not available in the web version, whereas in the mobile version you will be able to see the NFTs that you are holding on a specific network. Okay, so the ownership is the concern here, not the image.
Okay, I hope this answered your question, Anushka. Okay, cool. Next question is testnets.opensea.io production environment or a test environment?
Okay, this OpenSea is a test environment that we have shown because this Polygon, whatever we are using in the demo today is a testnet. This is a Polygon testnet. Mumbai.polygon is a Polygon testnet. And in the similar way, OpenSea, we are using the testnet from OpenSea. The actual production will be OpenSea.io. Okay, so to upload an NFT or create an account in the actual production version of OpenSea, you will have to spend a lot of money, at least for the initial time. So we are using testnet for now.
Okay. I guess all the questions have answered. We can answer more questions if you guys can ask questions in another 1 minute. So meanwhile, you guys can you can join our Slack channel where you can find the recordings, and Rajapandian will also be sharing his PPT as well in the Slack channel in the event group. So you can refer to that as well.
Yes, the detailed documentation will be available soon so that you can go ahead and in a similar way, whatever I have done today, you'll be able to create your own project, mint your NFT and view it on a marketplace like OpenSea.
Okay, great. I don't think any more questions. We have some appreciation for you, Rajapandian, from Josepha, Anjana, and Nancy, Charu, Ray. Yeah.
Thank you everyone. See, NFTs are just it is very new in the market, and all these days we have only been speaking about NFTs that represent the art, for example a collectible, an art or a music or a media. And right now NFTs are going to a new phase where there are possibilities of creating smart NFTs. We have heard about smart contracts, but there is a talk in the market right now, and I've also been exploring the NFT space where smart NFTs are being created, which are called programmable NFTs. So with these NFTs, with these attributes that are available. So right now we are only defining these attributes to trade, which will make this NFT unique. But what if these attributes would be able to react to external and internal events? So that is the way the market is moving towards NFTs now. So spend some time exploring NFTs, specifically programmable NFTs or smart NFTs. There is a long no, there's a lot of opportunities that will be coming up in NFT space soon.
I guess we have another question from Anushka. Why can't we build a more robust and user-friendly marketplace where a lot of the coding is avoided and any common man can mint an NFT?
Yes, now if you go to the OpenSea, the production version, you can just have your account linked to MetaMask, okay, and you will be able to upload your asset and mint it on the fly, okay. That is why I said when you go to the production version, they provide you with a lot of features, but initially you will have to spend a little amount of money to create an account on these platforms, okay. That is why we prefer the testnet version for now. But if you are, if you are a creator or an author, you can just very well go ahead and trade on this platform. The OpenSea provides you with a lot of features. Yeah, even you can create your own platform as well.
Okay, great. I guess that's all we have for questions.
Okay.
Thanks, Anushka. We are also like active participants, so we know that you have answered a lot of you have asked a lot of questions, so we look forward for such participants. Bhavna is also thanking you for sharing all this information. Okay, so Tijuana, so for this recording, it will be uploaded after 2-3 days. So you can join our Slack channel. We will notify you once it's uploaded. I guess we don't have any other questions. Thanks everyone for joining us. Hope you had a great session. Thank you, Rajapandian, for having this session.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye, everyone.